Hi, I'm Keeley,
And I'm John, and we currently live in Lincoln, Nebraska.
and we want to get married at the Guthrie.
I think our story will explain why.
I was born and raised in Nebraska, but I moved to the Twin Cities to go to the University of Minnesota.
And I'm from Chicago, and I moved to St. Paul to open a clothing store at the Woodbury Lakes Mall.
When we first met, John was my hot new boss. Thankfully, though, he transferred to the Mall of America store a few months later, making it possible for me to really pursue him without getting human resources involved.
We started spending all our time together and really getting to know each other. At the same time, we're continuing to fall in love with the cities, the food, the culture, the lakes, and the people.
Minnesota really became home to us. We loved exploring the cities together. We would have picnics on Hidden Beach, breakfast at Al's in Dinkytown, and I'll never forget the first concert I drugged John to. We saw Clap Your Hands Say Yeah at First Avenue, and he actually danced with me all night. Turns out, John hates to dance.
I can't help it, but I did dance down the runway as a model in Keeley's senior fashion show. I'll never forget the Halloween we drove to almost every Chipotle in the cities dressed in tinfoil collecting free burritos. My fridge was full of them.
We'd been dating for about 2 years when I graduated in May 2008, and I had the opportunity of a lifetime to work and live in Ireland.
I always dreamed about living in Europe, and here was the chance, so I quit my job and we moved to Galway on the western coast of Ireland.
It was amazing. We spent 4 life-changing months living on the West Coast before our visas and bank accounts ran out and we had to come back home. But not before John surprised, and I do mean surprised me, with a marriage proposal on Halloween Eve. One of our favorite bands was playing at our favorite bar, and he popped the question right on the dance floor while we were dressed as Mario and Princess Peach. It was a night neither of us will ever forget.
I used my last euros to buy Keeley an original Collada engagement ring from the jeweler credited with creating the design over 250 years ago. We happened to live just down the street from their historic building. Unfortunately for us, our drained bank accounts meant we would be leaving Ireland to temporarily live in Keeley's parents' basement in Nebraska. I had to sleep on the couch for 6 months.
Wah wah. Now we're working our butts off to save up enough money to come home and start our life in Minneapolis. And to pay for a wedding.
We're getting pretty close to the moving goal. We're so excited to escape Nebraska to live in a real city again, and we would love the opportunity to get married at the Guthrie.
Especially when it really means so much to us. One of our first dates was spent walking across the Stone Arch Bridge on a chilly fall night to look at the recently completed Guthrie. That night, I knew that John was more than just my hot manager. I knew that this was pretty special.
So please help us come full circle in our adventure. We've had a pretty amazing ride and we're almost back home.
And a wedding at the Guthrie would be a pretty great homecoming present.